Deciding this occasion, Dr. S.K. Rao, Commissioner GHMC, Sri Somesh Kumar Garu, MLA Ramgundam, Sri Somarap Satyanarayan Garu, Babu Garu, Additional Commissioner, all my friends from the media, and the distinguished gathering here. Wonderful morning to all of you. As I think Somesh Garu summed it up very aptly. It said, it reminds him, this whole idea of a smart city, or this whole reference to a smart city, reminds him of the elephant and 8 blind men story. In fact, as Minister of Information Technology, in the last 3 months or so, over 115 days now, I must have had at least 100 people talk to me about the smart city solutions they have. Each time when somebody walks in and he says, or he or she says, I have a solution and it's smart city, I am not amused anymore. I used to be earlier, but not anymore, because see, ultimately it can't be your smart city and my smart city. There has to be one idea of smart city which combines all the elements of what makes a city smart. So the question really is then, I think that's exactly what you said to explore here. What is it that makes a city smart? And the second thing is you have to understand the context as well. Does a smart city in the US mean exactly the same thing as a smart city in India? There's a smart city in Europe, say something like Barcelona, means exactly the same ingredients, the same qualities, the same attributes in India. Would it be reflective? The definition that is applied there, would it be applicable here? So I think the question that needs to be asked, the question that needs to be understood is that India is a very complicated country. It's a very heterogeneous country. It's a very complicated country. And therefore, whatever definition that might apply elsewhere, and whatever software or whatever smart cities packages and solutions that someone may have prepared elsewhere may not be applicable here. In fact, I'll tell you one quick example of how interesting it is. I don't want to name the company, but there was this multinational company who would come to me. They said, we would like to give you a presentation. As much bored as I am with the PowerPoint presentations, I said, yes, okay, let's go do this. So we went ahead and we had this long presentation. They were talking about all the smart things, how the dustbins can trigger an alert, a stink alert, when it reaches a certain quotient of smell. How even the dustbins can even send out a trigger, an SMS message to the authorities when they have reached that point where they have to be shifted or emptied. Very smart ideas. Then they were also talking about traffic management. They told me that they have a solution which actually triggers an alert to the traffic cops when somebody cuts a lane. So I was a little amused. I asked them the question. I said, sir, I'm very happy that you're putting great technology to great use, but we live in India, and in India we don't just cut lanes. We actually have situations where in a one-way traffic you have people coming right at you. I said, how would you address that? He was a little stumped. Let me put it mildly. He said, well, I haven't thought about it. And I said, that's exactly the solution I'm looking for. This is India. Yes, we need to instill a lot of discipline in our own citizens. Because see, when we say smart cities, we're talking about a city. What is a city? Is it just roads? Is it just a layout that we've planned with some plots and roads and some amenities and infrastructure being thrown in? No, smart citizens. We also ought to have smart citizen services. I think that's exactly what is missing in the overall setting of definition of a smart city today. I mean, as much as I love technology, as much as I love the sort of solutions it provides, the thing is, we need to understand. Say today we are in Hyderabad. Today we are in a new state called Telangana. Telangana, if you look at it, is much different from the rest of the country in the sense that we are a very urban state. See, what applies to us may not apply to Andhra Pradesh, which is our neighboring state, which is predominantly rural. Telangana is about 39% of Telangana is urban. And I think 21%, subject to correction, in Andhra Pradesh is urban. So the point is, there is a slight bit of a confusion here in the sense that there isn't one solution which can actually tell us, that this is what it is and this is the panacea, this is a solution for all of your urban governance challenges. No. I think each and every city has to find its own solution. Each and every city has to find its own formula. And that's exactly what we need to do as a group of intellectuals. I think that's the solution we are looking at. In fact, lots of people tell me lots of different things, but I thought, when you think about it, what is a smart city and why are we talking about it? Why is Government of India talking about it? Why is every other software company out there talking about it? Ultimately, see, when you think about it, I think the whole idea of improving quality of life, it's an incessant endeavor of every human being to improve quality of life, to have better living standards. And that's exactly where this whole idea of a smart city comes in. How can we use technology to good use? What are the challenges that we are facing in our lives every day? See, for example, I commuted here for about, I think, 5 kilometers, but it took me about 30 minutes. That's a challenge. Now, how do you alleviate that? How do you address that? That's a challenge there in itself. So, when you talk about smart city, I'm looking at different modules. I'm saying we need better energy management, better efficient energy management. We need better traffic management. We need a better environment, more greener environment. We need a better sanitation situation. We don't want to have the entire city of Hyderabad flooded each and every time there is a trickle. We have situation where in fact the roads end up turning like lakes and ponds. That's not what we want. We also have a situation where the water distribution doesn't happen very effectively. We have water being supplied. Our ENC Public Health is sitting right here. Water being distributed in a city like Hyderabad once in 2 days or 3 days sometimes. In summer it's far worse. And then you also have a system where the public health care system has lost its confidence. Public education system doesn't resonate with people anymore. So these are the challenges we have. How do you address this? Now, the other challenge we also have at the same time is we have rapid urbanization happening at the same time as well. While we are as a city challenged as it is in terms of amenities, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of a lot of other things, a lot of attributes, unfortunately we also have this huge urbanization happening. People coming here in search of livelihood, people coming here in search of better life. So the challenge is twofold now. One, obviously to make your city smart. Two, also to provide urban amenities in the semi-urban and the rural areas as well. There is a project in central government called Pura, providing urban amenities in rural areas, which actually tries to address some part of this. So now the challenge that we face as a country is twofold. One, ensuring that our cities become more efficient. At the same time, our rural areas also. Say in a state like Kerala, I think some of you could be from Kerala here. In a state like Kerala, you have an interesting situation. In fact, I'm also heading Panchayat Raj department. So when we started studying this whole idea of how we can empower our Panchayat Raj institutions, somebody told me the example of Kerala. So when I started trying to understand a bit more about Kerala, what I've realized is Kerala is a state where there isn't much of a distinction between the cities and villages. In fact, most of the villages in Kerala are of the size of a mandal here in Telangana. So there isn't one formula is what I'm trying to get at. In fact, if you ask me, the challenge is twofold, as I said. One, we obviously have to, I obviously welcome this whole proposal of the union government to actually come up with a 100 Smart City initiative, and we would love to be a part of that, and we would love to have many of our cities, including say a tier 2 city like Ramgundam, which is a corporation, also be a part of it. But at the same time, I think the few things that we need to sort out, for example, when we talk about energy management, energy efficiency, I would like to ask you, I'm not too sure how many of you are from Hyderabad, but I would like to ask you a quick question. How many of you actually know that Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation has a law in place which mandates that anyone building anything at all, anything new, be it a house or a commercial complex, has to have solar panels on their roof? How many of you actually know about it? Not many, I can say. I think the commissioner and a few others maybe. So the point I'm trying to make is, see, as a country we enforce we have wonderful laws. When it came to constitution, when it came to building the Constitution of India, I think we just collated the best that there is and built up this wonderful Constitution of India. And when it comes to rule framing and law policy making, none can beat us. We can come up with bundles of books. We can come up with bundles of huge, well entrenched and legally all apt laws. But at the end of the day, I think what remains a challenge is enforcement. And see, unless people know about it, unless people are aware. In fact, as soon as Telangana happened, as soon as Telangana was created, as soon as we assumed office, incidentally, that's when all these power cuts started, increasing in terms of the duration during the day. So I started getting a lot of messages on my Twitter account, my Facebook account, to my phone as well. Is this why we wanted Telangana? For all these power outages, etc., etc. The point is, yes, I understand the concern, I understand the irritation, but at the end of the day, unless citizens are aware, unless people are aware, that the government is trying to do its best, and this is a problem that we've inherited, which we're trying to address. And there are also solutions that are right there at your doorstep, right on your rooftop, if I may remind you, that you have to have a solar panel on your roof. When I start giving it back to people and telling them, you haven't done this, people don't like it. But at the end of the day, I think that's exactly what GHMC or, law enforcement has to do. That cities can't just be growing haphazardly. Cities can't just be growing like how Hyderabad is. In fact, we have a wonderful high-tech city here. Lots of people compliment us for that. In fact, IT-wise, Hyderabad is a dominant player. But unfortunately, while we have built the high-tech city, we forgot to build a sewerage system below it. These are the sort of minor things that actually make a difference. These are the sort of things that leave an impression. Because each and every time there's a trickle, as I said, the whole entire high-tech city actually floods. So these are the minor issues that actually make a big difference, which ought to be taken care of. And I'm quite confident that over a period of time, with the use of technology, I'm sure we will find our solutions, we'll find a formula, especially in the areas, the basic amenities, where we actually have to not just ensure that the quality of life improves, but also ensure that the quality of life as well as the living standards of people, including their per capita income, also goes up. So what is applicable in a Barcelona, what is applicable in New York may not be applicable to us, because they are finding their own solutions as well. Even as we speak, even New York is grappling with problems. Even London is grappling with problems. We are talking about, we've in fact, I should also tell you about all the initiatives that we've taken as a government in the last few months. As Somesh Garu said, in my book, smart city not just means using technology for betterment of life. It also means a safer city. It also means a greener city. So therefore, we've started out a lot of different initiatives. As far as making a city safe goes, we've started out with an ambitious project of installing about 50,000 odd surveillance cameras, the CCTVs, across the length and breadth of the city of Hyderabad. And as far as greening the city goes, we've started out with two initiatives. One, we started retrofitting of all the IT parks, about 124 of them, to make them more energy efficient, to make them more green. And we're in fact incentivizing all these IT parks to do more and more in terms of being more people friendly, in terms of being more disabled friendly, in terms of being more environmental friendly. So we are really pushing the envelope there. And we are also looking to, as I said, we are also looking to be more efficient energy wise. So therefore we are going to mandate and in fact enforce this whole idea of having rooftop solar panels across the length and breadth of Hyderabad. That will be an initiative. That will be very ambitious, but at least for the upcoming constructions, I request GHMC to enforce it with a lot of force. And then the overall challenge of improving the quality of environment and the quality of life in Hyderabad. It's a sad thing that we can't just be thinking of a smart city and a Wi-Fi city and using technology in selected locations in a city. We want the entire city to actually improve. Therefore, we are looking at the possibility of slums. Kitne hai Somesh ji? Pure notified. Hyderabad has more than 1,400 notified slums, and a city which wants to be smart cannot have lakhs and lakhs of its residents being slum dwellers. So that's another thing that we're working on. Our Chief Minister has been talking about it. Our Chief Minister wants Hyderabad to be a slum-free city, a slum-less city. In fact, we're trying to ensure that we build good quality housing for these slum dwellers as well and rehabilitate them, and then eventually move to a situation where we can truly call Hyderabad a global city, a cosmopolitan city, a smart city, a safe city, and a green city. And hopefully in days to come, with the formulas, with the solutions you provide, with the sort of brainstorming that is set to happen today, we'll definitely find some answers. And I look forward to the day when I can meet all of you again, and we proudly say that we're all 100% energy efficient and 100% efficient traffic-wise, and a lot of other aspects that I just mentioned. So once again, apologies for being late, and all the very best in your deliberations, and I look forward to some wonderful things coming up. Thank you very much.